Hello, my lovely chads of the internet. This video is going to be a little bit different than most of my other usual videos, or rant videos. First off, I'd like to introduce myself properly. Hello, my name is Cyril. It's nice to finally meet you. From a contextual sort of way, not in a actually physical sort of manner. This video is basically just something that I just wanted to talk, and just talk into a mic. Just want to spit out my thoughts, ideas, you know. Not often that I usually do that, because I keep myself really reserved. Not because I honestly want to, it's more just because it's a defense mechanism from sadness, grief, sorrow, you know, all the stuff that usually applies when it comes to speaking one's own mind or one's own heart. And even the way I'm speaking may sound a little bit odd or strange or forced. But no, this is actually just one of the ways that I actually do like communicating with people, and it's not even scripted. It's more just me going off of the cusp of me having thoughts running through my head and wanting to share them to you. But I guess basically what this video is just me talking about is that recently I've went through a moment in time where I basically was stunned by anger. The best way I can describe it is the sensation of feeling so angry you can't scream, you can't even feel the actual hatred that comes with the anger, nor can you cry. It's just a sensation of being stunned, because for that brief moment in time, all those complex emotions that you usually would feel with anger, such as rage, bewilderment, confusion, you know, brought by not being able to understand, or being clouded by having usually reasonable responses and just opting out to, I have been wrong, therefore I shall act upon the injustice done onto me. But today, basically, something happened that basically you've probably heard about me rant on my channel quite a while back. I probably won't bring the video up, but if you can find it on my channel, then go by all means. You can go ahead and watch it. It gives the same context to the story anyways, and regardless, it won't be too much going into that other seated time where that happened, because to be honest, it's not even mostly just about that. It's more just me as an individual, not as a content creator, just some random voice on the internet who wants to spill out his guts, because the only way for him to articulate his emotional state is through art, or some form of releasement that doesn't really involve 100% being face-to-face. Yeah, it's kind of hard and kind of cliche to imagine something like that, because some people have an easier time just going out and saying what they mean and not holding back anything. Unfortunately, that is not me. Cyril, the actual person who just talks most of the time, not the one you usually hear on camera, that's CJ. That's basically the personification of me and what I wish I was. Maybe all the time, or maybe just what I thought I was, and what people perceive me as, so therefore I am. But no, Cyril is a frightened young man who contemplates every single decision in his life because he worries about disappointment and being left alone, because isolation can't be spelled without an I. Something that I know a lot of us can talk about, especially when it comes to mental health. My topic mostly is about the cycle of mental health and how certain events in your life can lead to others. I mean, the reason why I'm playing Xenoblade Chronicle on my channel in general is because I really do like the game, first of all, but most of those games do come down to basically the same thing that I feel when I play most video games that I kind of cherish. It's about thinking about the future and how you can perceivably be able to control mostly at anything, as long as you're determined enough to do so, even if all the pieces that wouldn't be in your place shouldn't be there, but you force them there. Is there a right way to do it? Is there a wrong way to do it? I'm not really sure myself. Not even a consensus that I really drawn up an answer to. But just mostly for me, it's one of these things where it's like, recently I've been thinking about what is really me? You know, what do I classify as the me that I think I am? And therefore I act upon and do all my things to make sure that everybody around me knows who I am. It's kind of a difficult thing to even really comprehend as somebody who would just think about themselves. Hey, what do you like and dislike about yourself? And say it honestly. I mean, the things that I dislike about myself is that I don't have very much trust in myself to make the right choice. The right choice not being the correct choice, it's just the choice that feels right for me in the moment of time, without getting in my own head and thinking about, you know, future consequences that my actions have, because there's plenty of things in the past that, you know, you can think about and you can imagine certain events that you wish you did differently because maybe things would have turned out better, or maybe it would have ended up worse. Maybe your future will be impacted so greatly in the future because of this one incident you had that you wish you never did, but you can't take it back now because it's already been decided. Regardless, it's not like I don't think all of me is fake. There's plenty of things about me I do like. I still do like that, even though there's times that I have great anger, great sadness, or disappointment, that I still don't take the easy way out. As much as I would like to sometimes, I just can't bring myself to. That, and also I do like and do love helping others, because, I mean, probably what you're listening to right now is a good indication of that, because as a gentle madman myself, I do believe that if people don't have to bear the same pain and sadness as you have once did, whether your fault or not, whether within your control or not, if it can be prevented so you don't have to experience it, then I thought that was for the best. In some cases it is true, some cases it's not. You can't learn without experience. As RPG characters have taught me plenty of times, you can't grow stronger without experience. Which also, RPG characters have taught me many a time. But, that being said, I guess the whole point of this video, and probably the title, is what makes you you? Or what is the true concept of being your best you? What is being your best you? Is it the you that you personify for other people? For your friends, your family, somebody you find dear and hold close to your heart? Or is it the actual you, the one that makes yourself laugh at stupid jokes, sometimes chuckles to himself because he realizes, hey, maybe this isn't funny for somebody else, but at least I enjoy this and it's a part of my core and that I can gush about it? Is it the one that wants to reach out his hands to people in need even if they don't accept? Because maybe I'll back off eventually, but if I can still lend my aid, isn't that more important even if I don't get anything out of it? Because I guess for me, I've been struggling recently with trying to understand what is the best me. Like I said before, I am Cyril, but also I have another being in me that is CJ. Two sides of the same coin, the one constructed of what people idealize me as and one that is actually me. One who perceives himself to be positive, outgoing, strong, courageous, and one that seems to be reluctant, self-destructive, and sometimes just downright depressing, but also always speaks his mind, while the other one may not always speak his mind for the benefit of the other party involved. Even as I do this audio recording, it's more just the fact that I'm even able to say this probably has come through because of development more than anything, because I used to not be able to speak my like-minded people, especially the ones that I cared about, because to me, letting yourself be vulnerable and showing that you have weaknesses is, I thought, was a bad thing. Because the more weaknesses you have, it's the easier for people to judge you and tear you down and realize that, hey, maybe I should hang around somebody who isn't as mentally strong as me, or if not stronger. But I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because humans are humans. No matter what race, religion, age you got, at the end of the day, the human is made out of the same anatomy as another human. Maybe with different DNA and genetics, but at the same time, the thing that makes us human is that we all live and breathe the same air, and no matter how much we tried to push different ideologies or different sentiments, and how much we may fight and have disagreements, at the end of the day, we can all agree that being together is better than being alone. Because you don't grow as a person by only learning from yourself, but from outsider's perspective, and bonding with others, and knowing that, yeah, even though you've made a mistake that sometimes seems irreversible, I suppose I should say. Not irreplaceable, but irreversible. It's important to know that, you know, like something I read from a book, it was, bad days are bad days. Bad days are just days that are bad, and that you don't have to dwell in that bad day, because it's only one day that is bad out of the rest of the week you got, out of the rest of the months you have ahead of you, out of the rest of the years. There was a time where I thought, at one point, that maybe surviving as a human being for as long as I have would be a bad idea, and that there's no redeeming qualities for me, and missing one person out of a whole group of people probably wouldn't affect most people anyways, because at that point I felt like I didn't exist to the point where I do now. Even now on my YouTube channel, it's very hush-hush, and, you know, those who watch me and those who are interested in my content, I'm very grateful for. I don't ask for a huge presence, because at the end of the day, I would rather keep my relative size just due to the fact that those who are here either, one, genuinely care about me, or two, are just subscribed because, you know, it's been such a long time since they watched my content and they forgot to subscribe. But I digress. Either way, it still is a way for me to keep a time capsule of myself and see how much I've changed. Both in an ideology and also in the ego. I mean, technically, I really did want to at some point play a Persona game on the channel, because, again, I beat both the original Persona 5 a few years ago, then I made a video about this Persona 5R that just came out this past year. I did see all of the other Persona games that came out, and I watched playthroughs on that, because, again, the thing about Persona, at least when I was introduced to it, again, it was at my lowest point, and I didn't understand what it meant to have truly meaningful bonds. You can have friends that come and go, but some of them do stay, though. At the end of the day, whatever you pursued to be your ideology, or your true self, I suppose, in this sense, and what you want to show going forward, will be your best you, I suppose. I mean, for me, I still haven't given up on doing my best for others, but also I realize that if I can't take care of myself or help myself out of these ruts, nor if I don't extend my hand out for help when I need it, I might not be helpful to those who actually need me too. Because if I'm already bringing myself down, I would only be dragging other people down in my misery without actually resolving what truly is the issue with me and being able to move forward. Though I've never been on antidepressants, I don't think they're a cowardly thing to take, nor do I think it's a bad thing to take. If you're struggling because you feel like mentally you can't just rely on, you know, the people that you care about or the people that you trust the most because you feel like you're a burden, I mean, the pills are there, but also I do think it is still nice to say when you need help and when you are struggling, and telling your feelings and emotions in a way that, you should say them with knowing that, yeah, people may judge you, people may not judge you, but at the end of the day, being able to say it and hear yourself say something is more powerful than anybody could reaffirm for you or tell you yourself. It took me a long time to know that because I ended up making 2 different me's in the same time. A normal dude who sometimes does stuff on the internet, and also a normal dude who lives a day life that he takes care of and looks after other people, because, to be honest, that's what, if I could choose to do, then that's what I'll do. Though there's not a depressing tale, I don't think I can conclusively say that there's a happy ending either. So, moving on and moving forward is only your only option, because, after all, moving forward is easier than just staying where you are. Especially if you're already in a bad predicament. Why not move forward and see if you don't stay in that same predicament that kept you there for all that time anyways? I mean, at this point, ever since I decided that decision back in 2000, I believe, 11 or 12, to continue on living when I almost chose not to, I can't say I've been overly disappointed with the result. If anything, I've done more helping than bad ever since then, though I still will strive for myself to be better, because I'm not untouchable, and I'm not invincible. But that being said, it won't stop me from trying my best to make sure that everybody can try to succeed and be happy, because nobody needs to feel miserable by my own actions. I don't believe in stepping on other people to get what I need to get, because what I need and what I want, I know the difference between. Do I need to be 100% happy all the time to get what I want? No. And I may want to be happy all the time, but I also need to take care of myself to do that. As long as I keep moving forward, and as long as I can keep a benchmark of myself and what I've become, I think that's the most important for me. 2020 is when the year this is being recorded. And if you're watching this in the very distant future, which if you are, well, thank you, first of all, even from a past self like me. It's still nice to know that this is still worth coming back to and just listening to, because 2020 were the years of a lot of ups and downs for humans and society in general. Just the collective unconscious is having to radically change themselves and realize that a lot of things are out of our control, but what we do have in control is the most important thing. And what we can change with our own hands, with our own determination to do so, even hope, and even in our depths of despair, we can create a future that nobody else can take from us. Because that is the power of our best us. The best you that you can be.